Record. All right, we are recording. So thank you so much for joining me today on this workshop for 8 hacks for a positive mindset. Cassandra, I know you know me a little bit. I'm glad that you were able to join me live. But for everybody else that's going to get this as a recording, I just want to introduce myself quickly, give you like a little bit of an overview, what this is going to be, what's involved in it, and how it's going to run. And then we'll just jump right in, okay? Because I know we're short on time. We want to make it work. But the good thing is, on the live, it's only you and me. So we can do all these exercises really, really well.
Yes.
Which will be really fun. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Daisy V. I'm the founder of Activated Life by Daisy V. I started that basically because I needed to get more activated. And I say the word activated, basically talking about positive, being happy, being healthier, wanting to enjoy life, because that's one of the things, especially when, the drama of life is normal. It's always going to be a roller coaster. But when you're a parent who has to take care of somebody, as in a caretaker or a special needs child, it's just like 4 times the amount of stress, or 100 times the amount of stress sometimes that regular families have. Not saying that regular families don't have stress, but it's just a different animal, right? So I realized, even though I was I was working out, I was eating right, I was kind of sleeping okay, still the thoughts that were going on in my brain were not helping me. They were pulling me down. I was talking to myself like really badly, and I didn't like that. And I knew that that wasn't going to bring me into a good place in the future. So I started changing my mindset about, I want to say about 7 to 8 years now. And it's a continuous process. It's not something I can teach you in these 2 days of workshops, but it's something that there's so many tools and there's so many hacks, like I call them, that you can use and you can have and you can learn and you can keep in your back pocket. And then the days when you're like, somehow, because it's already programmed in your brain will start to pull from those little shelves, and it'll say, okay, breathe now. Okay, you're doing a good job, and it'll start to work in your mind a more positive way, and then life will start to feel better as well. So that's the whole point of this workshop, to give you those tools that you can have and then utilize in the future whenever you need them. So what we're going to do in total, there's 8 hacks. We're going to do 4 today and 4 tomorrow, and we're going to have enough time to practice everything as well, which will be really good, because you can then ask me questions and see like, okay, how can I apply this? How does this work? And I want you to ask me. So Cassandra, one-on-one, this is going to be awesome for you. And for everybody that's watching on the recording, obviously you can connect with me after, either via DM or via email as well. So let's see how this will help you. So these 8 hacks will help you cope more easily in the day-to-day. They'll help bring constructive changes, because we're going to be learning things that you're going to have in your brain automatically, but we're also going to be learning exercises like some meditation, some deep breathing, things that you can pull on. So we'll have both physical and psychological hacks, and it'll be a good balance for both of you, for both of them, because that way you'll be able to reduce stress, you'll be able to feel more joy, you'll be able to feel more gratitude. And all those things, when they compound on top of each other, it will make you a more pleasant person, which is really good, just to yourself already. Once in your mind, you're a more pleasant person, you start to show that on the outside. And then people around you actually also get affected, because they're like, oh, well, she's not looking at it that way, or he's not getting upset at that. So why should I? Let me use that. And then in the family, it's a snowball effect, which is wonderful. So that is the whole plan of this. I need you to have, obviously, a positive attitude, a learner's attitude. We'll work on the positive mindset. That's part of this, but I do need you to have a good attitude, and a notebook or a pen and paper, something to write on, okay? Because I know a lot of people nowadays do everything digitally, but typing or recording by voice is not the same as using pen and paper. So there's even some hacks that involve pen and paper, and it's a mental thing. It's a mind thing. It'll help you. So just trust me on this, okay? Even if you don't like pen and paper, just have some, use it, okay? If you have any questions, please stop me, ask me anytime, okay? And if any of you, like I said, that are watching the recording have them, you're more than welcome to email me. Cassandra, are we good? Do you have any questions for me so far?
Nope.
Nope, perfect. All right, then let us go right in. Technical difficulties, sorry. Okay, here we go. Workshop day 1. So today we are going to go over these 4 hacks, okay? You don't need to write notes on this. I will send you a workbook at the end, okay? So that you can use that. And I will also send you even some videos to watch over afterwards if you want to practice more. But in between, if you do have something, you know, that it's something you want to remember, jot that down. So we're going to start today with positive self-talk. Then we're going to go into breathing. We're going to do attitude of gratitude, which is very important. And we're going to do meditation. So we're going to have 2 practice ones as well, and then 2, you know, application ones. And the first one we are going to start with right away is positive self-talk. And the reason I'm starting with this is because it is like the most important hack that there is. Because I don't know, like Sandra, do you talk to yourself in your brain?
All the time. My brain never shuts up. So
I read though, there are people that don't talk to themselves in their mind. It's a very small percentage of people, but I can't even imagine what that would be like. It'd be so quiet. So like 98% of humans, all right, talk to themselves in their brains. The bad thing is also like 80-something% of the time, that talk is negative. And that's not good for us, right? So not at all. Do you notice, Cassandra, when you're doing negative talk, have you like noticed that? Or is that like, may I ask if you're allowed to share? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but.
Yeah, I've had a lot of negative talk, you know, in the last couple of months. Because I had a lot of moments of depression with losing my fiance. So
of course,
there's been a lot of like, I can't do this anymore. I want to give up. But it's like deep down inside, I know that I have the drive to do it, to make it through.
Yes, exactly. So that's what we want to pull out, okay? Because life, I'm so sorry what happened to you and your family, and I've been watching and praying for you this whole time. But regretfully, life sucks sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens, but you know, we can't let that pull us down. We can let it pull us down for a moment. That is fine. But you don't want to set up shop in, you know, the negative part. You don't want to stay there. You have to talk yourself out of it. And it is a brain hack because you have to do it to yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. Right? You are the one talking to yourself. And Sigmund Freud, I mean, we all know the name, right? I don't know how many years ago he lived, but Sigmund Freud was the one that discovered that there's 4 categories of negative thought. And that's usually what we do. And we do it unconsciously. We don't even do it consciously. It's all in the subconscious. And then our consciousness pulls from that and starts using that to talk bad to ourselves. So I know you've done these for sure, but the 4 types of negative self-talk include personalizing. So basically, you know, blaming yourself. Okay, the weather stinks. It's my fault. It's my fault that the trees are dying. I kill plants, by the way. Just yeah, I kill them. It's my fault. The plants are dying. You know, things like that. Polarizing is another one. Polarizing are those, and I've done this. We've all done these, right? It's like, it's okay. But I know some people that are like, everything is either really, really good or really, really bad. I mean, there's no middle ground. And there has to be a middle ground because life can't be all, you know, rainbows and butterflies and unicorns, and life can't be all, well, all the bad things in life. I'm not going to say them. But we can't be stuck between that. The third one is magnifying. So magnifying is when everything just gets bigger. It's like when you're making an elephant out of an anthill, typically, right? And then the last one is catastrophizing. I always have a hard time with this word. Sorry, too many languages in my head. catastrophizing. So everything is a catastrophe. The world is going to end because I did not get this document in on time to the insurance. That's okay. Okay, I didn't fill in this paperwork in time. It's okay. It's okay. The world will not end because of it. Yeah, it might suck, but you'll figure it out afterwards, right? Those are the kind of things, those are the 4 types of thoughts we have. And those are the 4 types of thoughts we have to change. So it's the most difficult because it takes the most practice. And this is not one that you're going to learn from one day to another. But the first thing you need to do in order to practice positive self-talk is awareness. Okay. So when you practice awareness, in order to hack and in order to start hacking your brain for that, I normally suggest that 3 or 4 times a day, and it might be like you might make a reminder on your phone. I used to do this whenever I walked into the bathroom. You know, whenever you take a potty break during work or during whatever, during the day when you're dealing with your kids or whatever, you check yourself and you go, okay, how are my thoughts right now? Am I thinking negative? Am I thinking positive? How am I talking to myself? And just do a quick like eval, okay? And then switch that and go, okay, you know what? This mindset, this thought, because I'm so stressed right now, I just had a really difficult moment with my son. It's not going to help me. Let's switch it. Let's make it positive. And you start to talk yourself out of those things. And you start to tell yourself, you know what? It's not going to be that bad. Everything is going to be okay. You did a great job today. The weather is gray and nasty, but that's okay. I have things to do in the house. I'll just clean, you know, change it, make it positive, make it happier. And everything will start to feel a lot better over time as you start to incorporate this into your daily practice. All right. Any questions, Cassandra?
Nope.
May I ask maybe if you're willing to share one thing maybe that you criticize about yourself frequently, or like something that you notice that you do this at times, would you need to change? Or not really. It's okay.
I think one thing I guess, like in the last couple of months, just like being angry all the time. I was criticizing myself for being angry.
Of course. Being angry at everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And that automatically makes you think, you know, negatively about whatever. Oh, this food's not cooked right. So, right. Okay. Do you catch yourself though when you do that? Do you notice yourself?
Yeah, I have.
You
That's
have?
one reason I went in and talked to my doctor. Was like, I need to go back on my ADHD pills because like I need a little boost to kind of straighten my mind out so that I can be a little more clear-headed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you normally, like, instead of popping only pills, because we don't want to only do that, we want to try and get our brain to work properly. Do you function maybe by visual cues? Do you function through, do you like hearing things better? What helps you learn? Like, what helps you adjust your attitude or your mindset?
I'm usually more of like a physical learner.
Okay.
Like seeing things and writing it down and then like going through the process.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay. Interesting. So you have to write and see. You have to do both.
Yeah. That's why I love writing with pen and paper. I actually hate typing on the computer. I prefer longhand.
Awesome.
I don't know. There's something about it.
Yep. It's a great connection. So that's a good thing. So maybe a practice for you could even be like, do you have like posters or something around the house?
I do.
Oh, there you go. Well,
in different places.
Yeah. Well, even, you know, if you're visual or if you're a practice learner, then, you know, if you have pens or if you have paper lying around somewhere, and let's say, you know, you go into the kitchen and you have a poster board there and you say, okay, hold on, let me take a minute. Don't be angry, you know, and write it down for yourself. Life is good. Okay. It's a beautiful day. And just like stimulate yourself in ways like that. Do you think that would be something that could help you?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of something that like my therapist had me do when I was younger, is like writing affirmations on the wall.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. Positive self-talk is the same thing as affirmations. I'm going to talk about affirmations, obviously, in meditation as well, but that is exactly it, right? Start writing affirmations for yourself. That's a great idea. So there you go. That could be a way that you could apply this hack either way. Any other questions about this kind of hack on positive self-talk and how we have to adjust it? I know it's a hard one to do, but it's an important one, and you need, it's really, really worth it when you start to practice and when you consciously start to make that effort.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we good with this one? Any questions before we move on to the next one?
No.
Good morning. I don't know if can you see me? I'm not sure.
Somebody else joined.
Can you see me? I'm not sure
Yes,
if I can see my.
Yeah.
Okay. I just came a little bit after the meeting start, but I just want to say good morning. And I hear a little bit about when thoughts come to our mind. Like for me, is like I don't make enough. I always try to do everything that I had to do, but what I'm doing is educating myself, like reading books about doing less, and that kind of gives me a lot of insights. And so what I had to do next is like just say, write little notes when I feel those thoughts that I know is like I pushing myself, not being gentle. I don't have to do it all, but and just remind me all those little nuggets, gold nuggets that I find in the book. So that remind me and reinforce, because sometimes I can be so hard on myself that I had to do all, but now I just finished a book, Do Less, and it is so much inside in there.
That's
so and the good thing is that has this audiobooks that I can continue doing my things and just pop my earpods in, and that's so helpful.
That is actually a very, very good tip, because if you listen to things that are positive, it'll also go into your brain really quickly. And that's the thing, you expect more, or we expect more from ourselves sometimes than we expect even from other people. So, and then we tell ourselves, oh, you're not doing a good job because you didn't finish this, because this looks, because the house is a mess, because the laundry isn't folded, because you weren't able to finish your job today. You start doing all these things, and it's like, how can you expect one human to do and to be Superwoman? It's just not possible, right? So we are Superwomen. Absolutely. We are 100% Superwomen.
We don't know how
to go down.
Yeah, it's like the books say, I'm going insane.
Because you end up going,
and I don't want to go insane. So
exactly.
I had to be gentle.
Absolutely.
And also reinforce a lot. You need to prioritize the sleeping, because if you want to do more, you have to sleep.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that all has to do with your mindset. So especially like the trick I always say, and I have it here on the screen as well, if you wouldn't say it to your child, why are you saying it to yourself? Right?
Okay.
That's like my key nugget always for positive self-talk. If I'm listening to something in my brain and I go, my God, I wouldn't even talk, I wouldn't talk to Harvey like this. I wouldn't talk to Hillary like this. I wouldn't talk to anybody like this. Why am I talking to me like this? Right? Just check yourself, remember, and just try to switch that brain. Because like I said at the beginning, even if you didn't join us in time, Monica, you need to do this. I can't do this for you. Nobody can do it for you, but you can have these tools and you can remind yourself, and you can go, okay, this isn't right. I have to change this. This is not bringing me anything positive. Let's do it the other way. And then if something bad happens, we will deal with that when we get there. Right? It's always one step at a time. Okay, so great. Thank you so much for hack.
You're welcome.
Hack 1 was fun. We're going to go into hack 2, and I love hack 2 because it's going to be more exercise. Breathing. I know you all breathe. People are like, why are you teaching me how to breathe? Because you don't breathe right. Okay, I'm actually reading a book right now that came up for no reason, called Breath. And breathing is so important. And there's been studies done. There's tribes that teach their children from when they're babies, how to breathe. They tape the mouth so that people breathe through their nose. And that helps their health. It helps their mindset. And it helps so many parts of the body that like sleep apnea, depression, all of that can be solved through correct breathing. And so I really like to teach this hack because in moments where we're anxious or where we're stressed, you know, and I know, and we all know that at that point we start to, you don't breathe right and you're breathing shallow and you're like, oh my God, oh my God. And then it just gets worse, right? It's like working out. When you're breathing bad and working out, you're gonna faint, right? Because you're not doing it right. So breathing is super vital. We can use it in a meditative way as well, which is really nice. But even if it's just like 3 minutes of proper deep breathing, you don't have to go into the whole meditation thing. But even like while you're under the shower, if you're able to breathe correctly and just get the oxygen to those parts of your body that they need it, over time, when you're in a stress situation, your body will pull on that because it's something natural. It's like muscle memory. It's like, okay, in and out, and automatically your brain will start to feel calmer, you'll function better, and there's more oxygen in your system, so your brain will be able to work better and more positively, okay? So humans can live for 3 weeks without food. We know that. 3 days without water, but 3 minutes without air is all we can do. So that's how important breathing is. We are going to practice 2 different types of breathing. Do you do any breathing exercises? Either of you?
Yeah, because I have anxiety, so
Good.
I've
Well,
had to.
you have anxiety.
But there are
Deep
times,
breathing exercise.
there are times, especially when I'm dealing with Jackson, is like I forget that like there's breathing to survive and there's breathing to calm yourself down.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why I like to share different techniques. And there are many different techniques of like it's really a science that's studied. But the 2 that I'm going to share are going to be just regular deep breathing, full belly breathing, and then also alternate nostril, which is a really nice one for anxiety, actually. Okay, so we're going to try them so that we can work on them together. And we have to do them both because they're 2 different techniques. So on the first one, are you ready to practice with me? Okay. Let's sit up nice and tall. What I want you to do is I want you to take one of your hands, whichever hand's your most dominant, and put it on your belly, okay? Because one of the problems is that a lot of us, and I'm gonna stand so y'all can see me, excuse me. So a lot of us just don't breathe enough. We don't actually I'm literally sticking out my belly, okay? I'm not pregnant, guys, I'm just sticking it out. We don't fill up our diaphragm, and then we don't end up filling the lungs. So the whole point of this is actually to fill up your belly and then push it back down after, okay? That is the process that we're gonna do so that the diaphragm underneath and all the lungs can really, really fill with all the oxygen that we need, okay? We're gonna do it inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. After a certain time, when you do this often enough, it's better just to do it through the nose. But we will start easy because we always have to start first step until we can get to step number 10, right? So let's just do this really simply. Sit up straight, hand on your belly, close your eyes if you want to, relax, and just breathe in through your nose as best you can. And try and see if while you breathe in, you can expand your stomach. And then once you get to the top, hold it and push back out. It might take you a couple of minutes, and it's okay, we have time. Okay, breathe in. And then push out through your mouth. You can even do it audibly and actually, because that helps. Breathe in. Breathe out. And like I said, if you're having trouble, breathe in. Breathe out. Actually push your belly. Okay? So that you can feel the motion. If you can sit for 3 minutes and do that every day, even like if you wake up in the morning and you're still lying in bed, put your hand on your belly, lie down, and Just for a couple minutes. It can be exhausting, but it's really good for you because you're utilizing a part of your body that a lot of people don't utilize enough. Any questions on this full belly breathing? Oh, okay. That was easy. This one is a little bit more complicated. Alternate nostril breathing comes from yoga. And this is really good when you have anxiety or when you're like all over the place and you don't know what you're doing and you feel like you just need to calm down, you need to ground. Okay, grounding is when you connect with the ground, with the earth, so that you're more held in balance. So it's actually called Nadi Shodhana, but it's a yogic type of breathing. And what you do, depending on which hand you're most prominent with, right or left, doesn't matter, you use your thumb and you use your ring finger, basically, like there, so you can see it, okay, whichever one. And what you do is you inhale, basically you close one side of your nose, you inhale through the other, and then once you've inhaled, you switch and you exhale through the side that you just inhaled. So it takes a little bit of practice. I'm going to walk you through a couple, okay? So let's try this first. Get your thumb and your ring finger, whichever hand you're most dominant with, okay? Put it, obviously don't cover your mouth, but put it around your nose area. Cover your nostril with the thumb first, and then let's breathe in. Hold it, switch, open the side, and now breathe out. Breathe in. Close it, open, and breathe out. Do it again. Breathe in. Hold it, switch, and breathe out. Again. Switch. And breathe out. It seems kind of funny, but I promise, if you do it for a couple of minutes, and I can already feel it, I don't know about you, if you did it for, but it's like, whoa, it gives you a really nice head rush. And on the side here, but it also really, really calms you, right? See, I'm already talking slower. Hey, I should have done this before I started. So that's a really good one. Don't do it too much, but to do it for about 3 minutes is really good to start out with. And you'll feel, with time, you'll feel more comfortable doing that whole switch. It'll start to become natural, okay? And then when you need it, you can run to the bathroom and hide and do a quick breathing technique, or you can utilize the other one, because for the other one, obviously, full belly, it's a lot easier to do out in public as well. It's just like, okay, everybody leave me alone. Just let me breathe, okay? Okay, any questions on these two? No? Okay, so we've tried these. If you tried them at home, that's great as well. I hope you did. That's the whole point of this. If you decide that this is one thing that you want to do, I want you to devote a certain time, whatever's comfortable for you. And it might not even be 3 minutes. It might be 30 seconds. That's okay. Okay. We are all in different places. If you start and you can only breathe 3 times deeply, breathe 3 times deeply. That's 3 more than you did yesterday. Okay. If tomorrow you can manage to do 30 seconds, that's great. The next day you'll do a minute. Okay. Positive self-talk. You do not have to be perfect on day 1. This is all practice. Okay. And that's why they're hacks. And that's why I call it a practice, because we need to remind our bodies. We need to practice this for our bodies. So whatever works for you, decide, okay, I'm going to do 30 seconds today of deep breathing. I'm going to do 30 seconds of alternate nostril breathing, and then practice that, do it, and let your body start to adjust to it so that it can pull on that in times of trouble. All right. Next, number 3. Yes, because we got to move it along. I'm late. Number 3, attitude of gratitude. It's not the same as positive self-talk. People kind of confuse this sometimes, but attitude of gratitude is being thankful. And studies actually show that you will raise your happiness just by switching your attitude a little bit. So it's more on what you focus on instead of what you say to yourself. Because if you, for example, if somebody throws your plans out. Like yesterday, for example. Yesterday, I had to get up 5:30 in the morning, get up everything because we had a doctor's appointment at 8. We needed to leave the house at 7:30. 7 o'clock, my phone rings. Ding, 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 ding. Oh boy, that's never good, right? But the doctor's appointment got canceled. That's okay. I was mad that I got up and that I had to get everything ready and that I did not sleep another hour because, but hey, I'm grateful they called me before we got in the car and before we were actually there. At least this time they called me and they didn't tell me when I got there to the appointment. Attitude of gratitude. You know, it's just about the perspective. It's just how we see it. And when we start to switch that view, instead of looking at things negatively, that's why our happiness will switch, because automatically we'll look at things in a positive way. And then automatically you'll start to talk nicer to yourself. Once again, snowball effect. All right. So there's 3 exercises for attitude of gratitude. And this one is kind of a 2-in-1, because the first one is saying and actually stating what you're thankful for. And so, for example, every morning when you wake up, my mother brought me
I just getting ready now for video and techniques and basically, you know, when those come a lot someone is or something I'm going to able to stop this or that something so on as be myself and I'm
you're great. That's because the first one is next, which is sometimes once you get and as you reach the ball of white light, you are going to start pulling up that energy through your roots. You're going to feel pulling up. Thank you.
okay, let me see how to write this at att.net.
Okay. I'm gonna send it only to you, the recording. Okay. Then everybody else, I'm gonna send it once and last.
Okay,
But I
yeah, that
will
would be great.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.